Welcome back to another episode of Teen Speak. I am Zach, and I'm here today with Dawson. How are you doing, Dawson?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well. It's actually a little bit of a different format for us. We're here after the evening service tonight. Today was Mother's Day, as you guys know, for us. So I wanted to do something a little different for this episode. And I told Dawson a little bit ago what I want him to do. It was think about something that he was grateful for, or a moment in his life that he can think back to with his mother that he's grateful for.
Yes. Well, I think you will obviously agree when I say this. Not every kid is the perfect angelic child, you know.
Except for our sound producer, Jeremy. Right, Jeremy?
Yeah, Jeremy's pretty awesome. He just gave us thumbs up. He's a cool guy. Anyway, so and not everybody is the perfect angelic child, you know. And I could safely say that I've had a lot of ups and downs, you know, my whole life. And looking back, I have made some very terrible mistakes when I was younger. Well, I'm still young now, but younger than younger, you know what I mean? But my mom never gave up on me, you know? She never said, well, he's evil. Let's kick him out of the house, you know? She never gave up on me. And looking back, I'm very thankful that God gave her that, you know, temperament to give me another chance, you know? So I know she's not the only mom that does that, you know. I'm pretty sure there's tons of other moms. But to me, personally, I'm thankful. I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah. One thing I'm thankful for with my mom is she was always just such a servant. And that was something that always stood out to me about my mom. She worked herself to the bone so that others could have. She would work countless hours at the church. She would help my dad whenever he needed help. She would do whatever needed to be done. And she would do all this. She'd never complain. And she was just a great example of what it was like to serve, what it was like to give yourself wholly to the ministry. My mom actually was the first one out of my parents to get saved. She got saved a little after my sister went to a vacation Bible school. And then she got us kids in church. And then she actually got to the point where my dad was not saved. He wasn't living right. And she was really torn between the two because she loved her husband, but my dad was doing things that were ungodly. And she didn't want to raise her kids in that life. So she was just praying, God, I need you to fix this, or I'm going to have to find another way to raise my kids. And because of the prayers of my mom, my dad actually got saved. And the one thing I'm really, really grateful for with my mom is she was always there to listen. I remember, the teenage drama, breakups as a kid. I would go to my mom and I would just cry to her, which a lot of people may not believe because I'm not a big crier. But my mom's one of the few people that I'd actually let myself go and cry and let go of my emotions around her. And she would just sit there. She would rub my back. She'd tell me it's all right. Even though she knew that the problems I was going through were so minor and so childish in her eyes, she still treated them as if they were the biggest problems of the world. And she was always willing to pray for me, pray with me, and she always prays for her kids. And like I said, there's things that she doesn't like to do. She doesn't love to sing, but she's always willing to sing if my dad asks her to. So she's really taught me what it's like to be a servant, and that's what I'm thankful for. And I think if you look to bring in the Bible to this, I think if you look in the Bible, you also see plenty of examples of men whose lives were changed and shaped by the mothers or the women that raised them. We mentioned in Sunday school today that Rahab the harlot is ultimately from the same lineage that David the king is from, which is ultimately the same lineage that Christ comes from. We have also in that line Bathsheba, which was a woman who made plenty of mistakes, but was a woman that was worthy to be praised, is what Solomon said when he wrote about the virtuous woman. I believe that there are many, many women in the Bible that have given us example after example of what it's like to live a godly life.
Yeah, I could see that. One really awesome example that I think of is, I'm going to say obviously in the book of 1 Samuel, Samuel's mother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she was always begging for God to finally have a child, and when she finally got that child, she dedicated that child.
Gave it right back.
Gave it right back to God.
Yeah,
I absolutely love that.
I also love the story in the New Testament of the woman who had a great testimony, and God told her, and then also told the man, I'm blanking on their names right now, but that they would see the Messiah before they died.
Oh,
And it's a great example of godliness and what godliness can really do if you dedicate your life. Listen, it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. There are things about women in the Bible that you can look at and you can be grateful for. And you can also try to emulate and imitate those things in your life. You can try to be a hard worker, someone that works with your hands, savvy, a giver. Some of the greatest people in Jesus' ministry were women that worked right beside him. Women teach us passion. They teach us compassion. They teach us all these things that I think are great to learn from. And I know it's that weekend, and we like to take a special episode to think about them. But really, your mom should be something you should think about year round. My mom is still here, and I'm grateful for that. But I look around at some of these people whose mom is actually already dead and in heaven now. And I can only imagine. I know my dad would love to have one more day with my meemaw, with my grandma, to sit down and just talk to her again and get advice. So enjoy your mother while you still have her. Love her while she's still there. Learn from her as much as you can, and be merciful with her, because remember, she's just as human as you are. Mm-hmm. So we thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Teen Speak. We hope you had a great Mother's Day. Show your mother as much love as you can while you still have her. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bye,
guys.
What's another good song?
From SpongeBob?
Well, you can walk out on me tonight if you think that it ain't feeling right. Oh, but darling, there ain't no getting over me. But a boom, boom, boom. Okay, all right.